What's going on, gang? Today, coming at you, trying a little something a little different. Coming from a place of, working with athletes, seeing them perform, kind of seeing like, hey, I wish somebody would have told me this sooner, and just dealing not only with athletes but individuals who are active, who have hard jobs, not just active, but who have hard jobs and want to be able just to be there for their kids and anyways, but as well as athletes. Here, uh, got a little simple breakfasty, lunchy thing going on here. Got some pancakes going. Got something my wife does, which I'm sure you might, but some apple cinnamon glaze on the pan here going on. Which I actually got to put my cinnamon on there. But this is coming from a place of not only seeing athletes and working with athletes and just kind of seeing, like, let's be honest, they don't have the athletes at the highest level don't have the greatest food intake, right? I'm sure there's many athletes. I mean, you look at Dwight Howard, for instance. I know, but just from the basketball standpoint, him and many others did. They would say before a game, DK Metcalf before a game, and I'd have McDonald's. I have a double. Honestly, I don't even know what's on the menu anymore. But I would have McDonald's before a game. I'd have DK Metcalf. I know one time he said, like, I would just eat some Skittle, or maybe it was Ocho Cinco. Someone in the NFL said, like, I'll just down some Skittles, halftime, have the rest of the bag, and then go play, right? So imagine, the athletes that they are. Imagine if their diet, which, not to say that that's not the full picture, but in those moments, like, they're giving out information, and now it's coming down to the lower levels, high school, middle school, elementary. Like, hey man, if Dwight can do it, if he can just have McDonald's all the time before a game, I can do it too. Pause. That's not the ideal way to do it. And so this is coming from just seeing and kind of like knowing what's going on, coming from a nutritional standpoint. And obviously this isn't the best, but this is more of like, if you're crunched on time, you don't really know what to do, I got you. So again, coming back, got some pancakes, got some apples, cinnamon stuff sauteing right here. If you're an athlete, based on a 2,000 calorie diet, ideally, if you run high minutes, if you're a high performer, if you run not only high minutes and you play high minutes in the game, but in practice, you set the standard. Like, you're all in. Like, everybody's kind of, if anybody's going to get the job done, it's going to be you. Like, you got to set the standard for the team to kind of come with. Hey man, like, let's just look at it. Eat something, anything, right? I think that's where a lot of times we kind of get stuck. Is, one, we don't eat enough as athletes, as high performers, but two, we don't eat enough that allows us to perform better. So first off, just take care of the first point. We don't eat enough. Okay, so athletes, individuals who have hard jobs, don't just wake up in the morning and just down a pre-workout, hoping that'll save you for the rest of the day, and then you forget to eat until 2 p.m. right before practice, whatever. And now you wonder why you have a headache. Now you wonder why you want to go to sleep. Now you wonder why all these different variables, right? Let's take care of that, right? In the morning, all right, it's a little different. I know everybody has a different way of things, and maybe it's not even feasible, but shoot to have something, right? Anything is better than nothing. And then once you kind of got that down, ooh, that was hot. Interesting. Once you have that down, then start to dial it up and dial it in with, okay, now time to lock in on the nutrition a little bit more. And then the other side of that is, once you have or are having a consistent breakfast, whatever it is, now let's look at the total daily energy expenditure. Let's look at the total daily dietary recommended dietary allowance. If you're a high performer, if you're a high individual who does high things and in high places, right? That's just a little pun on with some words that I wanted to play with. Um, no, but if you have a demanding job, if you're a high performer, the recommended, right, by USDA, all this stuff is the typical 2,000 calories per day. Let's take that with a grain of salt. Not everybody has to be at that position. If you're in high minutes, all these things that I've been saying, shoot as best you can. Try to aim. Start off, honestly, somewhere around anywhere from 28 to 3,200 calories. And you're like, man, that sounds like a lot. Well, for perspective here, my pancakes alone, without my meal replacement, that extra proteins, that the extra proteins that I added in, 6, and I got about 2, 4. I'll end up with 6 pancakes. 6 pancakes times 130. That's, well, okay, 6 times 100 is 600 calories. So there's about, and then 6 by 30 is another, what, 180. So about 700, 800. You can kind of guesstimate there, about 800 calories just within my pancakes alone. And then I got 2 apples that I'm going to finish out here, that roughly an apple, it's about 60, 90 calories per. And so that's another 150, 120. Let's go 120. Let's just go on the low end. 120 calories. And so I'm looking at a 900 calorie meal that, it's obviously, it takes, it's a little time consuming, but it takes time to make time to get what we want out of our performance and whatever it is. And so this right here is about 900 to 1,000 calories. So completing this, now I just need to make, if you think of it on the big scale, I just need to make 2 more meals of something like this. Now, ideally, you'd want more of a protein, want more protein in your meal. I threw in my meal replacement that has a protein in that I'm adding to what I'm already consuming outside of this that you see. But ideally, start with, right, anywhere from 28 to 3,200 calories a day. That sounds like a lot, and it may feel like a lot, but if you eat your proteins, your chickens, your meats like chicken, eggs, poultry, beef, venison, deer, elk, right? You name it, salmon, fish, all these different things. Start with that, because protein is obviously more satiating and it'll keep you fuller for a longer period of time. So that way you won't always go to the pantry and try to munch and try to find something to munch on that won't provide any value, although it may be necessary because maybe you are hungry, but that won't provide any value for you. Now I don't need to eat because I'm full, and now I'm full, so now I can kind of wait until I'm hungry again when my body says so, and I can perform, right, at a better rate, or I can perform because I have food that is keeping me full for a longer period of time. So a lot of things can be said, and a lot of things, right, as a registered dietitian that I am not, obviously, but I am or do provide more of a nutritional, guideline. As a nutritional coach, something simple like this will go far more, right? Not only will you consume and eat, but you also, hey, you also learn a new skill of cooking, making breakfast, because who doesn't love breakfast-ish meal? And so you get a lot of skills all in one when it comes to cooking. And so I know this is a little bit long-winded. This is coming from a place of, hey, let's get this out here. Let's kind of evaluate if I'm a high performer, or if I just want to perform at a better rate. Like, what am I doing? What are some things, some simple meals that I can do for myself if I'm home, if I'm alone? And so it honestly looks something simple as this: adding in some butter. Butter adds in another anywhere from 20 to 40 calories, right? So I'm looking at maybe even a 1100 calorie meal that I'll eat here. So, and hope you found this as some kind of, well, one, blessing, but two, I hope that you found this as some kind of helpful. That maybe you didn't, but somebody who's kind of been asking some of these questions. And so don't forget you can share this with anyone. You can you can spread the word. And I'll see you guys soon, coming back with more soon. Hey, we train different to play different.